Hello everybody, welcome to week numero dos for college football. Isn't college football great to be back? You see the high of highs for Maryland, the lows of lows for Texas in the same game, Penn State, Appalachian State. This is a great sport or what? Alright guys, week 2 of the games. Breaking down all the Big 12 games and the TV games. Coming up next, right here, Boomer Center 1982. Don't go away. Welcome back to week 2 of the 2018 college football picks, everybody. I'm your host, Harry James. First of all, let's stick and look around the Big 12 for what other conference-affiliated games around the Big 12 conference, which start Friday night, 7 o'clock p.m. on ESPN The 2. The battle for the Metroplex, TCU at SMU. I'm actually going to take TCU in this ball game. As we flash forward to Saturday, ESPN regular, they're going to have Mississippi State at Kansas State. Yesterday Kansas State didn't look all that clean, but maybe they were just hiding some stuff to throw at SMU. I would not put that against the Snides, Bill Snyder. So I think he's going to slide past Mississippi State in this one. The 12 o'clock game, UCLA at Oklahoma, again on National Fox, right where we were last week on National Fox. This time, a little bit of a better team in UCLA for Oklahoma. But I'm not going to pick this game as normal. As you guys know, I don't want to sound like a homer, so I'm not going to pick the game. But what's it going to take for UCLA to win? For UCLA to win, either spite the transfer from Michigan or their true freshman quarterback, they've got to get the ball out to their wide receivers. I think that the defensive backs have learned a lot, Buki and those guys for Oklahoma, but still, you want to test those guys, and that they've only had 1 week. They've only had one game together as a unit. For Oklahoma, just do what you need to do defensively and just trust Kyler Murray in the offense. Because with Kyler out there as a playmaker, he's going to make plays. Even if the play is shut down, he's going to make plays. Just go back to the first quarter on that first drive and look at that quarterback run he had. We'll be all right. The next Big 12 game to take a look at, we're actually going to take a little break here and go all the way to 2 o'clock where we're going to see Kansas at Central Michigan on ESPN+. I mean, I don't want to pick against the Big 12, but you have to kind of go with Central Michigan in this one, don't you? Kansas really hasn't had a lot of luck. So I'm going to go with Central Michigan. At 3 o'clock on Fox Sports Net, Texas Tech tries to get back on track after losing in frustrating fashion to Ole Miss, and I think they will, against Lamar at Tech. Fox Sports Net, 3 o'clock, I'm going to go in with Tech. 4 o'clock on National Fox, so the game after ours is going to be Iowa State at Iowa on Fox. I'm actually going to go with Iowa in this ball game. Remember last year, Iowa State and Iowa played a gut-wrencher of a ball game when Iowa State was actually pretty good, and Iowa still won that game. So you can't go against Iowa even when they had one of their better teams, Iowa still won. Next is the 5 o'clock game as Youngstown State, Bo Pelini and company, will travel out to Motown in West Virginia on AT&T Sports Network. Can't go against the Mountaineers at home, can you? Not against an opponent like Youngstown State. 6 o'clock p.m., Baylor will be at Texas San Antonio in the Dome on CBS Sports Network. I'm going to go with the Clawing Bears. Look for them to claw that one out. 7 o'clock is our final two games where we will see Tulsa at Texas on the Longhorn Network at 7 o'clock first. In this ball game, watch out, guys. Don't say Tulsa can't win this game. Texas is kind of overlooking this game, saying, man, we should have beaten Maryland. We should have played a little better against Maryland. Golly. You can't just overlook this team. Remember, Tulsa runs the same offense that Baylor ran in the last couple of years before Rule took over. And that offense not only gave Oklahoma some problems, even gave Texas some problems back in the day. So watch out for that one. The other game on this net, on the 7 o'clock set for the Big 12 at least, South Alabama will be in Silly at Oklahoma State on Fox Sports Net. You can't go against the Aggies in this ball game against South Alabama, can you? At least I'm not going to. National games. Well, Saturday is when you really get the national games started with the Big 12 having the Friday game. So Saturday, New Mexico and Wisconsin, the Badgers, will be on the Big Ten Network. I'm going to go with the Badgers. Western Michigan at Michigan on Fox Sports 1. I think Michigan's going to bounce back, don't you? Yeah, they're a little bit. Might have a little bit on the purr there after losing a heart-wrencher to Notre Dame. Townsend at Wake Forest on the ACC Network. I'm going to go with Wake. Eastern Michigan will take on Purdue, the Boilermakers. Watch out for the Trains and the Boilermakers in this one on the Big Ten Network. Next week's opponent for Oklahoma in 2 weeks, they will play Army, but before that, they have to play Liberty in New York, or at Army, Liberty at Army, CBS Sports Network. I'm going to go with the Knights of Army. SEC game, Nevada at Vanderbilt, SEC Network. I'm going to go with Vandy. Arizona at Houston on the regional ESPN2 or ABC. I'm thinking it's going to be ABC here in this area. But Arizona at Houston, you got to go with Houston, right? Sure you do. Duke at Northwestern on ESPNU. I'm going to go with Northwestern. And the other game on ESPN2 or ABC, the other regional game is Georgia Tech at South Florida on ESPN2. I'm going to go with the Bulls of South Florida. 11:30 game. The new ACC network online is going to have Georgia State at North Carolina State. At 11:30 a.m., I'm going to go with North Carolina State. At 12, also on the new ACC network, Holy Cross will be at BC. That's Boston College on the ACC network. I'm going to go with Boston College. 1 o'clock on the online at ACC network, William & Mary at Virginia Tech. I'm going to go with the Hokies. Virginia Tech, Hokie High. Portland State at Oregon is going to also be on at 1 o'clock on the Pac-12 network. I'm going to go with Oregon. And CBS Sports Network at 1 o'clock is going to have our old buddy Lane Kiffin, and they will host Air Force at Florida Atlantic. I'm going to go with Florida Atlantic in that bowl game. 2:30. ESPN2 game first. Big Bad Alabama takes their number 1 or number 2 slot, whichever one you say, and they will take on Arkansas State. Arkansas State at Bama. ESPN2. I'm going to go with Bama. The CBS SEC game on CBS. Georgia at South Carolina. You got to go with Georgia, right? South Carolina hasn't found themselves yet. Big Ten Network, Rutgers at The Ohio State University. I'm going to go with Ohio State. NBC, the Notre Dame Network, is going to have a TV game also. Ball State at Notre Dame. You got to go with Notre Dame. Colorado at Nebraska on ABC. I think Nebraska is going to get that first win. I really do. A home game for them. Now, if this game was in Boulder, it might be a little different. But since it's at home, I think that Scott Frost gets his first win as a head coach there at Nebraska in that rivalry game. Colorado and Nebraska is on ABC at 2:30. Buffalo at Temple. ESPN3, I'm going to go with Temple. Memphis at Navy on CBS Sports. I'm actually going to go with Navy in this ball game. ESPNU is also going to have a game. North Carolina at East Carolina. I'm going to go with the Tar Heels of North Carolina. And speaking of North Carolina and the ACC, on the ACC network, Wagner at Syracuse. I'm going to go with the Orange of Syracuse. Howard at Kent State on ESPN+. I'm going to go with Howard. And Morgan State will be at Akron. I'm going to go with Akron in this ball game on ESPN+. 3 o'clock, SEC Network. 2 games from the SEC Network. They're going to bring you either Southern Illinois at Ole Miss. I'm going to go with Ole Miss. Also on the SEC Network, on the other SEC Network, East Tennessee State will be at Tennessee for the first home game for Tennessee and their new head coach. And actually, I think that he's going to get this one, tie his record up at 1-1 at Tennessee, and get the win in the knock. After the 3 o'clock come the 5 o'clock games, where you will see Savannah. First of all, you'll see Savannah State at Miami of Florida on ACC Network. I'm going to go with the Canes. The U. South Carolina State at Central Florida on ESPN3. Our buddy Josh Heupel is going to jump to 2-0. And he's going to take care of South Carolina State. Maryland at Bowling Green on ESPN+. Well, they're 1-0. Why not go 2-0, right? I think that they will against Bowling Green. UMass, that's the University of Massachusetts for all you non-football fans. They will be at Georgia Southern on ESPN+. I'm going to go with Georgia Southern. The final game on ESPN+, App State, coming off of a heartbreaking loss at Penn State, will now be at Charlotte. And I'm going to go with Appalachian State, actually, in this ball game. The next ball game is at 5:30, which is also, oddly enough, on ESPN+, as Kentucky will be at Marshall. I'm actually going to go with Marshall in this ball game. 6 o'clock, Clemson at Texas A&M on ESPN. I'm actually going to go with Clemson in this ball game, but watch out for A&M in this ball game. They can get them if they're not fully aware. They can show them that SEC toughness if they have any in A&M. Sorry, A&M fans, but if they do, just go out and show me. Maybe you'll be able to beat Clemson. I don't think it'll happen, but why not give them a chance? But I'm still going to take Clemson. The battle for Louisiana between Southern Louisiana, and they will be at LSU on ESPN2 or ESPNU. I'm going to go with Louisiana State. Now, the game that's not on ESPN2 will be on ESPNU and vice versa. ESPNU will be on ESPN2. That game will be Wyoming at Missouri. And I'm actually going to go with Missouri in this ball game. After the Missouri game on the lineup, at least, ESPN Plus has a couple of games, including University of Tennessee Martin at Middle Tennessee. I'm actually going to take Middle Tennessee in this ball game. Southern will be at Louisiana Tech, also again on ESPN Plus. I'm going to go with La Tech. ESPN3 will have Louisiana Monroe at Southern Mississippi. On ESPN3, I'm going to take Southern Miss. ESPN Plus will have Alabama Birmingham at Coastal Carolina. I'm going to go with Coastal Carolina in this ball game. Indiana State will be at Louisville. I'm actually going to take Louisville. The game will be on the ACC network. One of the many battles for Texas will be taking place. This one, Texas Southern, and they will be at Texas State. This one will be on ESPN3, and I'm going to take Texas State. The final game at the 6 o'clock kickoff times, Florida A&M will be at Troy on the Plus, ESPN Plus, the new ESPN station, and I'm actually going to take Troy in that ball game. 6:20 p.m., Samford will be at Florida State on the ACC network. He cannot yet go against Francois. So look for them to do some magical things at Florida State. ESPN at 6:30, the SEC Network. Alabama State at Auburn. Auburn starts 2-0. Alabama State is not going to beat Auburn. Western Illinois at Illinois on the Big Ten Network. The battle for Illinois goes to the Illini of Illinois. Virginia at Indiana on the Big Ten Network. I'm actually going to go with the Hoosiers in this one, even though it's not a basketball game. Arkansas will be at Colorado State on CBS Sports Network. I'm going to go Pig Suey in this one with Arkansas. Kentucky at Florida on the SEC Network. I think the Florida's going to get this thing figured out pretty quickly. And you know what? Who's to say they can't beat up on the Stoopsy? So I'm going to take them to do it. Florida, Kentucky on the SEC Network. ESPN News will have Utah at Northern Illinois. I'm going to go with the Pac-12 and Utah Utes. And ESPN Plus, my Maine at Western Michigan. I'm going to go with Western Michigan in this ball game. FIU, that's Florida International, will be at Old Dominion. That's on the new Big BEIN Sports Network, BEIN Sports Network. I'm going to go with ODU. Incarnate Word will be at our old buddy Seth Luttrell, North Texas. The game's going to be on ESPN Plus. I'm going to go with UNT. The final game at the 6:30 kick will be Fresno State, and they will be at Minnesota on ESPN on Fox Sports 1. 7 o'clock games. There's a chunk load of these games in prime time, so get your dinners ready. As Penn State will be at Pitt on ABC. Looks for Penn State to kind of get things situated right here on the road at Pitt. They're gonna be able to do that on ABC. 7 o'clock also on the new Stadium Network. New Mexico State will be at Utah State. The Aggies, look for them to get this one done. Utah State. Nicholls State will be at Tulane on ESPN3. Look out for Tulane in this one. I like the green wave to wave past Nicholls State. Southern Utah at Oregon State on the Pac-12 Network. Oregon State's going to get this thing figured out. They're going to get that one win that they need. They're going to tie things up 1-1. And the battle for Ohio, one of the many battles for Ohio, Cincinnati will be at Miami of Ohio on ESPN3. Look out for the Bearcats in this one. Cincinnati gets this one. Primetime games, 7:30 p.m. The national game on Fox in the primetime at 7:30. USC at Stanford on Fox. Look out for Stanford in this ball game. They never win this conference, but usually they're pretty good against other Pac-12 teams. They just usually can't get the one win that they need. But USC has a freshman quarterback. So watch out for Stanford in this one. 8 p.m. on AT&T's Fox Sports Rocky Mountain Time. UTEP will be at Las Vegas, Nevada. Look out for UNLV at this one at 8 o'clock p.m. The 9:15 games, they will be on either ESPN2 or ESPNU. The first one, University of Connecticut, will be at Boise State. I'm actually going to go with Boise in this ball game. The ESPN2, ESPNU mirror game, that one will be Cal Berkeley at Brigham Young, either on ESPN2 or ESPNU. Check your local listings. I'm actually going to go with the Mormons in this one. Cal Berkeley did show me something last week against North Carolina, but I just don't think going out into the Rocky Mountains is going to be easy for them, and BYU's going to be ready. The later games, 9:45 is one of them. ESPN2, as Michigan State will be at Arizona State. I'm going to go with the Sun Devils in the desert. You can't go against that, can you? It's going to be hot in the desert, so you might as well just go with Arizona State. Finally, the really, really, really late games. You might want to stay up late for this one. Our old buddy Mike Leach and Washington State will host San Jose State at Washington State on the Pac-12 Network. You can't ever go against Mike Leach yet in a non-conference game, particularly in the Pac-12. I'm actually going to go with Washington State. And finally, 9:59. Rice will go out to Hawaii on the Spectrum Sports Network. I'm going to go with the Hawaii Rainbows in this one. It's not going to be an easy trip. Never is easy to go out to Hawaii, and Rice is going to try to do that. All right, guys. That's the college pick'em. If you want to take these picks to Vegas, go ahead and do it. But I'm not promising you anything. But if you do win, I want at least some of the winnings, right? Thanks for that. If you want to watch this video for my picks, you can, and all my previous ones on the YouTube, Boomer Sooner 1982. They're also on my Twitter handle at HypeManHarry. Also on my regular Facebook page, Harry James Taylor. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and enjoy week 2 of college football. Till next week, guys. I'm out of here. See ya. Enjoy college football, guys.